Man, what a day. What a first half of the day and second half of the yesterday. Hi, I'm Jason Dupree. This is OCR Tech Talk, and I just got done running the Spartan Charlotte Super in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've got lots of things to say about it. But before I do, I did want to see if anybody listened to the April Fool's episode. Curious. It was April 1st, and partner, I don't have my mic on, so hopefully I'll try to talk loud so the Adobe Enhancer can handle the audio. I don't know which way the exit is, to be honest. I'm gonna guess this way. Yeah. So, the April Fool's episode, I ended up recording like a help video, like a Photoshop tutorial help video. Let me make sure I'm finding the exit, because I could be wrong about this. So give me just a moment while I shout out the window. Is the exit this way?
Yes, sir. The window.
Awesome, thank you. So in that episode, I also just acted over the top. If you know me or have listened to me at all, then you probably know my temperament pretty well and my energy levels. And so I tried to go the whole like stereotypical YouTube thing, like smash that subscribe button and all that stuff. And it probably, it probably would do better than, most regular videos just because of the energy. And that's what I was told by a friend. Which is funny because it's just like, I understand why that stuff is entertaining and it's just not authentic to me. So there's this whole mentality of this just thought in my head, like, I'm performing. I've talked about this before, actually. I think I'm performing when I do this. I wouldn't be talking to the person next to me in the same tone. It's a little different. It's not far off from what it would be, but it's a little different. So there is a level of performance when you're talking to yourself in a car. So it's, that in itself is kind of weird, but taking it to that other level is definitely weird too. And I can feel my throat starting to get dry. It is warm today. I did take some sodium during the course, but it was just a hot one, and I felt really rough from the get-go, and I'll explain backstory on that. But, so apologies on my throat and just my voice, and I'll have to take lots of sips of things. So, yeah, so that episode, I did a Photoshop thing, and I had Carlo Piscatello interrupt me with a call, which that's not something that you see in one of those videos. Usually that stuff is edited out. So that was kind of, it was on purpose. And then while I was on the call with him, he was actually asking me something for help with something technical. And then Jack Goris called him while we were in the middle of that. So we got double interrupted. Jack didn't end up having anything actually useful to say, as far as the rest of the video was a decent tutorial. I showed what I do with making the Photoshop thumbnails, the YouTube thumbnails with Photoshop, and showed some tips that I use and different techniques that I use. And then whenever Carlo called, I showed him how to do basically alpha channel green screen for because he got a green screen. So for him to use in their Carlo and Francesca Get OCR Adjacent videos. So that was kind of cool. So if you actually watch it, if you listen to it, you probably won't get a ton out of it. But if you go watch it on YouTube, you probably actually will see, learn some things. It's pretty cool. All right, my phone overheated because it is a hot day, and I'm riding with it in the sun. So let me turn down the air here for a second. Oops. Okay. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, so I think I was just wrapping up saying that the April Fool's episode was nothing comically genius about it, but it was just silly and goofy, and it was something I needed to do. I needed to make a thumbnail anyway, so it kind of like, let me go ahead and make an April Fool's episode while actually doing something productive. So that was kind of cool. So, if you, I hope you enjoyed it if you did watch it. If not, and you want to get some Photoshop techniques, go check it out. Anyway, here's what happened today. Today I've come out here for the second race in the U.S. Spartan U.S. National Series. And last night I had a flight that was supposed to leave. Everybody's got their flight stories, but this is related to how I felt today, so we'll go ahead and do that. Flight was supposed to take off at 6:30. That flight got completely canceled before I even left the house. So that was, shocking. And then I got on another flight that was slated to take off at 9:30, and then that flight slowly got pushed back till 10:30, I think. And then by the time, it finally got like, okay, it's going to leave at 10:30. So I went to the airport, got to the airport, and I think it was probably about 11:15 before we finally took off. But we got up in the air, and we're going to East Coast time. And so when we landed, it was 3 a.m. So took off, like 11:30 or 11:15, 11:30, and landed at 3 a.m. 2:30. Yeah. Anyway, got to the rental car, and the rental car place was closed until 5 a.m. So I did sleep pretty well on the plane. Like I slept most of the flight. And then when I got, waited for the rental car place to open, I just hung out for a couple hours and didn't sleep there. But then got the rental car, went to the hotel, got to the hotel about 6, and laid down to take an hour nap, and ended up taking a 3-hour nap. So I slept through my alarm. I only set 1. I don't know why. That was kind of dumb of me. I only set 1. And got to the venue at 11. The last super wave was at 11:30. So I actually got to run. When I got there, there's a, you may have heard me talk about F3 before. F3 is a men's peer-led workout group across the nation, across the world, really. And so it's peer-led, it's free. It usually is in the mornings, like 5:30. And it's kind of like workout / leadership training. So everybody takes turns leading the workouts, and then there's a whole, it's just a big group of guys trying to be better, trying to better themselves. So there is a big, I think it started here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So there's obviously a big group that came, and their wave was taken off, or about to take off, as I came to the venue. So I actually got to get in their wave and start with the F3 guys, which is pretty cool. As soon as I woke up from that nap, my stomach was being super weird. I don't know what's going on, but it was being super weird. And as soon as we started moving, my heart rate was jacking up right away. And so I just felt rough. I still ran most of it, but heart rate was way higher than it normally should be. I feel like my fitness has been pretty good lately. So it could just be a mixture of the travel. I probably didn't, because of the things got canceled, I didn't choose to eat super well. I didn't eat horrible, but I definitely just, I don't know, not making the best choices. So yeah, I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure what's going on there. But, still ran the course and did all the obstacles, missed the first spirit throw, did the burpees, and then after, I went back to go do another throw to film it. Mike Garcia, Scott Knowles, and his buddy, Scott's buddy, I I can't remember his name, were right there. They were actually there practicing the spear throw, which is pretty cool. So I got to see them on the course. I was going to run with Mike this morning at 8 a.m., but like I said, I got there late, and so yeah. So I overslept. Like, I slept through him texting me saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and start. You want to go? You want to go? Go." And yeah, but it was a nice day. It was just warm. There was a dunk wall, which was nice because it got cooled off there. Quite muddy from all that. There was a very muddy sandbag carry towards the beginning of the race. That's going to be really interesting to see what that's like tomorrow, because that is definitely in the sprint. So yeah, can't wait to see that. It's not like the whole sandbag loop is not muddy. It's just one part of it. But because of that one part, all the sandbags are super muddy. So they're probably going to be dried up, but they are going to be crusted, and then they still have to go through that mud section. But in the morning, we'll record the race and see how it goes, and then get it out Monday evening. So that's it. It's a good day. So yeah, I'm in training for a 100-miler in late September in the San Juans in Colorado. So trying to make sure, like, I slept in. I could have just said, nah, I'm gonna skip it, but I gotta put the miles in. Got 7 in this morning, and then probably get another 3 or 4 tomorrow. But we'll do some more recording tomorrow after doing the race, and then on the way home. All right, see you then. Hello again. I do have my mics, but honestly, since I forgot them last time, I'm just gonna roll with it this time too. Just got done filming the elites at Spartan Charlotte, and now I'm gonna go head back. I gotta actually late checkout this time, so I'm gonna head back to the hotel and actually clean up and do a little more work on the video stuff, because yesterday I got the obstacle video edited and rendered, so now I can go get it posted. I've got a late flight out, so not a big deal. If I get to the airport early, I'll check for an earlier flight, but otherwise I'll continue to just work on things and get things ready for tomorrow. Today's race was really good. You can actually see the course if you're watching on video. You can see passing the course right now. This is like the end of the course, where you've got like the last 4 obstacles or so. Here comes the Hercules hoist. A lot muddier today. Obviously, that's pretty typical. As everybody trounces through the course, that it muddies things up. So we had 4. Well, let's talk about the race first. We had Robert Killian didn't actually race today. I think he was on the start list, but he didn't actually race. And from what I heard, he announced through a post yesterday that yesterday was his 100th podium. And so, and something about some injuries. So he was looking to, get that 100th podium, but then give himself some time for those injuries to heal up. So he didn't race today. But we had Nick Riker, Adam Beach, Mike Strobel, Kevin Thompson, the Green brothers, Nathan and Marquez, and that's all I'm off the top of my head for the men. For the women, Cassandra Gill, Casey Monroe, Claudia from Italy, Stephanie? No. Oh, shoot. I've been said her name so many times, and I'm blanking on it. I think she's a Southern girl. So I think she's from the area. So she's pretty quick. I think it's Stephanie. Anyways, her and there's another girl, Elise, that had won USA OCR, the 15K. So I recognized her. So yeah, it's some pretty good competition. So for the guys, from what I ran with the women for the most part. So for what I heard from the guys was that Adam Beach felt like he had a pretty good, like he got to, it was probably pretty tight up to the spear throw, which was pretty early on. But I think he made his spear and then felt like he just, kept a pretty good, kept in front at that point. Like, I don't know if he had a big lead. I guess I'll see when I watch it as well. But it was him. And he said, he said Kevin Thompson was pretty close to him once they got to the traverse wall, which was that part that I just drove through. It was right before that. So it was pretty close to the end. And so Kevin must have been pretty right on him. And Adam finished first, Kevin in second, and Nick Riker in third. I was, I guess, expecting Nick Riker to make it a little more play for first. But in his interview, he said, I don't know if you can see these purple flowers I'm passing by right now, a little bit. He said that his training, he hasn't been on a trail since like October, and he's training more for Deca and High Rocks. He said he wants to win Deca World Championships, which is exciting. That's a great goal for him to go after. He stands a good chance to take it as long as he puts the training in. And for High Rocks, he said he wants to get into the Elite 15 for doubles with somebody specific, but I forget who exactly he said it was. I didn't catch who was in fourth. I'll have to go back and look at the results for that. For the women, I went out the gate with the women and tried to, now everybody ran together, but I tried to stick with the women. And I I kept some speed through this first woodsy area because I didn't want to get anybody's way. And there was kind of like a good clearing between a couple of different women, so I could fit in between them without getting in somebody's way. Like the next one was far enough back that I didn't feel like I was impeding anybody. And I stayed with them through that section, and then it got to this more open spot, and then that's when my lungs started to die. And I let the women go and cut through the woods. Actually, I had to cut through a creek, and the women, Cassandra Gill was in first, leading into the first set of obstacles, and there was a pretty good race going on between. So first and second were pretty close together. Everybody was close together, but at the monkey bars, you had 3 or 4 women all on the monkey bars at the same time. And then once, so you had Cassandra and I'm gonna say Stephanie again, and I feel like that's not quite right, but maybe it is. Oh man, now it's just bugging me. But once they got to the spear throw, Cassandra and Stephanie, I'll just go ahead and say it, in second place she was right on her tail through the rope climb into the spear throw. They both missed the spear throw. I'm going to say Casey Monroe came in next, and Elise, and maybe one other lady, and they all missed the spear throw. And Claudia, I think Claudia came in in the back of all of them and made hers. Now, when you watch the race, you'll see it stuck and then kind of did that bobbing thing. So nobody setting, no, it looked like it wasn't just definitely on the ground. I think I'd say it was questionable at least. and the judge volunteer didn't say anything. So she went on, but then she missed the next obstacle, which was the multi-rig. So the multi-rig, she took the penalty. Cassandra caught up to her, but she was still behind. And she was behind all the way through after the bucket carry. And then there was a wall, Atlas carry, and the wall. And then Cassandra passed Claudia after the wall, leading into the barbed wire crawl. And then she pretty much held the lead from there and actually started making a gap. Casey Monroe started catching Claudia, and it was looking real tight. And as Casey said, if she would have just had another mile, she felt like she could have passed her. But they were on the A-frame cargo right at the, second to last obstacle before the finish. Last obstacle being the fire jump, of course. And they were on it at the same time. And honestly, I felt like if just watching, of course, I'm not in Casey's shoes, but just watching, it's like, come on, Casey, if you just had one little push, if she could have thrown herself down the cargo, maybe she would have had her. I don't know, but it was good fight right there. So good race. It was enjoyable to watch. Rabbiting wise, we had 4 rabbits: myself, Mike Garcia, Mike Crimmins, and a younger guy, Benjamin something. I have to look up Benjamin's name. But Benjamin, he said he's like a 16-minute 5K guy, and he sounded like he got burned out of running from track. But he's like 25 now, and he's got into OCR. And this is super interesting to me. He said that he's been following OCR, but he hasn't run it yet, which is wild. Like, to hear that somebody is a fan of the sport and actually hasn't done it yet, it was really cool. So to hear him, like, that he's been watching our races and he's wanting to, like, he wants to go after it. He wants to see if he can run a lead. And so we put him in front and let him chase the guys. And he's definitely quick. He's probably got still a little work to do to keep up with the front runners, but I think he's in a good place to, he's got the speed from track days. He's in a good place that he can make some improvement and make some waves. So, I'm excited to see what he does. Anyways, now let's see. I think everything went really well. Like, the only technical thing was that I forgot to check my quality settings, and so my quality was set to low instead of to normal. So the image won't be quite as pristine. Still, it's still good, but it won't be quite as pristine as it could be. Just smaller file size. That's all it is. Something I just forgot to check. I checked it on everybody else's phone except for mine. So yeah, it went well. Everybody cut the course really well. Like, I know Mike Crimmins was the slowest guy out of our group. And he said he knew that course pretty well, and he utilized just cutting the course as best as you can possibly be, because he was there. Every time I got to where I was starting to lose the women, he was there. And I would catch up with the obstacles, but he was already ahead waiting because he was just cutting the course really well. So he did a great job staying with the backpack women, and I was able to keep with the front pack women. And I can't wait to see how it went with the guys. But I think that's it. I got to see a lot of people. Getting to see like Nick Riker and Scott Thane Knowles was there. Cassandra and her husband, I got to chat with them for a minute. They were actually going out to go run a fun lap with a friend after the elite race, which is really cool. Jack Goris is there taking pictures. I actually got an interview with him after while I was waiting on one of the guys to interview. We got interviews of everybody except for Claudia. She had left out of the shoot when I was still interviewing the guys, and I never did see her again. Oh, I did pause it in between 2 interviews, and I interviewed Casey, and I forgot to hit record. I was like, dang it. So I did interview her twice, but we're trying to keep them short so that those interview sections don't last forever. Anyways, and as she jokingly said, I think the second one went better anyway. Anyways, so it's good. But yeah, good weekend. Weather is great. It's obviously getting a little warm. As soon as the sun comes out, it's warm. But other than that, it's good, nice weather. We were expecting possible rain this morning, so glad it didn't rain. That made it really easy to do things. Didn't have to deal with that. And I think that's it. So now we got Miles Keller and Tyler Movsesian on commentating tomorrow evening, and I'm gonna go get the everything prepped for the show tomorrow and get the obstacle video up. So I've got nothing else to say. I'm going to stop trying to think of things to say because now I just sound like a bozo. I will see y'all. I'll make an obstacle video in Atlanta for Tough Mudder, but no live streams until May, which I think is Big Bear, if I can remember off the top of my head. But I'm sure I'll record a episode, OCR Tech Talk episode for Atlanta for Tough Mudder, just because I'll run Tough Mudder. I'll actually do an obstacle video during the day and then run Tough as like normal, race it. So that's exciting. Looking forward to it. Thanks for listening. That's it. Thanks for listening. Not record. What in the world? That is not what I meant to say. Like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Smash that like button. But you smash subscribe, right? Not you don't smash like. I don't know. Anyways, see ya.